Hello, I'm Jeremy Artz, Product Manager for Poweramp Vehicle Restraints and IDOC Controls. And I want to show you the Tpr rotating hook vehicle restraint today. The Tpr is the style of the most popular vehicle restraint in the industry today. It's a trailer positioned rotating hook. What that means is when a trailer backs into the loading dock, its rear impact guard or rig will touch anywhere along the slope here and force the restraint into the required position. So you can see that. And then once the rear impact guard is resting up on top of the restraint, the trailer is up against the bumpers. You simply push the engage button on the controller, and the hook inside of the housing rotates up and wraps around the rear impact guard, and you have a safe engagement situation. When the trailer is pushed away from the dock or there's an attempted early departure, the hook will hold that trailer at the dock up to at least 32,000 pounds of force. Okay, so it's a very solid, very reliable, and very durable restraint. Very popular type of restraint in the industry. Okay, so when a trailer backs up to the dock worker inside of the loading dock pushes engage on the controller, and the hook rotates up out of the housing, wraps around the rear impact guard, and creates a safe engagement situation. You notice the lights changed from red here on the inside, which tells dock workers they cannot enter the trailer. It's not safe. And it changed to green. The light changed to green. That tells the dock workers that you have a safely engaged and secured trailer, and it's okay to start loading or unloading the vehicle. When you push release on the controller, when loading or unloading is complete, the restraint disengages, the hook stores itself back down into the housing, and the light you notice here changes back to red, letting dock workers on the inside know they cannot load or unload the trailer anymore. They have to stand clear because the trailer might leave. Whenever the lights are one color on the inside on the controller, they are the opposite on the outside to tell the truck driver either it's safe for him or her to go, or it's not safe for him or her to leave. There are some features that the Tpr has that are very beneficial. The first feature it has, we're going to talk about auto reengage. Okay, so when you have a safe engagement situation and the hook has rotated up and is engaged with the trailer's rear impact guard, if anything gets under that trailer, a large pallet shard or anything like that, and threatens to force the hook down, and so the trailer might be able to pull away early before it's supposed to, IDOC controls will sense that and will re-engage the hook automatically to maintain safe engagement. Also, if a trailer backs in to the dock and it doesn't have a functional rear impact guard, maybe it's been broken or rusted off or severely bent, maybe it doesn't even have a rear impact guard. If that kind of a trailer backs into the dock and the dock worker attempts to push engage on the controller and engage the hook, IDOC controls will sense there's no rig present, and it will auto store the hook back down into the housing automatically. So you don't have the hook staying up in that engaged position with no rear impact guard to hold on to. When the hook has to auto store, the light on the inside on the controller flashes amber and red to alert the dock worker that something is not right. And the display on the controller says press release to reset the lights or press enter for bypass mode. On some other restraints in the industry, when you do have a hook that stays up, the next trailer backs in and can smash into that hook that didn't auto store, and that causes severe damage. The Tpr has a vertical service range of 9 inches off the ground, that's the height of the housing, all the way up to 30 inches off the ground. That's an industry-leading vertical service range. And the motor inside that activates the hook, raises it and lowers it, is an IP67 rated motor, which means it's waterproof up to about a meter of water for at least 30 minutes. So 30 minutes, a meter of water, it can be totally submerged. And then when the water recedes, goes away, just do maintenance on it, and it'll work just fine. Okay, that's IP67 rating on the motor, and that's the Tpr. Then we have the Tpr Unit Lock, which is a step up from the standard Tpr. This too is a trailer position rotating hook. It has all the same features of the TPR, including 2 additional features. So the 2 features it has, the same as the TPR, are the auto reengage and auto store. But the 2 additional features that it has that makes it an upgrade over the TPR are its ability to restrain trailers that have rear impact guards with cover plates on them, such as in intermodal or container trailers. And then also its other capability is it can resolve the situation called rig wedge, which occurs when you have a trailer at the dock, you have a normal safe engagement situation, the hook on the restraint is wrapped up around the trailer's rear impact guard, its rig, and there's a lot of trailer motion away from the dock, or maybe there was an attempted early departure, and there's a lot of pressure built up between the trailer's rear impact guard and the restraint hook. And that amount of pressure that can build up happens all the time, all across the country at loading docks. That amount of pressure that can build up can prevent the hook from storing. So a trailer will be stuck at the dock until they figure out what's going on. It can take several minutes. The driver of the truck usually has to back the trailer up against the bumpers to relieve that pressure, and then the hook can be released. And that can be a real pain for operators around the country, for dock operators, and also for drivers. But with the UniLock, so for rig wedge, what it does to relieve that pressure is the hook rotates off center, not directly straight around in a circle, but more of an oblong or oval fashion. So when it rotates down to store into the housing, it moves away from the rig first, relieving that pressure, and then rotates down into the housing. Okay, that's how the UniLock can relieve that rig wedge pressure and solve that problem without needing drivers to back up against the bumpers to let the hook go and release the truck. How does it restrain trailers with cover plates on the rear impact guards? It has locking mechanisms on the hook as well as welded inside the housing that hit on each other when a trailer with a cover plate rear impact cover plate rig moves away from the dock. Okay, so when that trailer moves away from the dock, that cover plate rig on a normal rotating hook could force down the hook on a restraint like this. But the UniLock has those anchor points on the hook and in the housing that hit on each other and create a dead stop. So when the trailer forces its way out against the hook, it can only push the hook down so far and then it stops, essentially turning it into a barrier. The only way to release that trailer then at that point is for the dock operator inside the loading dock to release it on the controller, and the hook will rotate out past the anchor points and drop down into the housing, and it's stored, and then the truck can go. So those are 2 features that make the UniLock an improvement over the TPR. So that's our video on the operation and features of the TPR and the UniLock. For more information, contact your regional Poweramp representative or go to poweramp.com.